Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And earlier this morning, we got the skill preview for the new Rimuru, Tempest Elite Rimuru, who is cosplaying as Shizu. And you can see Shizu's little force ghost in the back right here. You probably guessed it from yesterday's content preview. I'm not the most excited about this Rimuru. They had a chance to make a good Benimaru that was AoE fire and DPS, and they made him a single target dark character. Okay, fine. They had a golden opportunity to make us, our first summonable Soe in almost 2 years. Uh, yeah, they didn't do that either. And, we could have gotten a Diablo, cosplaying as Benimaru as well, and you could say he was using some kind of fire stuff. I don't know, and they didn't do that, so they reverted back to more Rimuru. So it is what it is. But his kit at least looks to be something interesting. All right, that's image, new tab. There we go. Okay, so his first skill, Unknown, will be announced in game. His second skill applies Greater Burn to a single target for 30% additional damage for 2 turns. And Greater Burn does additional damage to the afflicted target corresponding to the amount of fire attack damage dealt to them. Stacks. Increase, and then, so that's part 1 of the skill. So he has Greater Burn. And if you do not know what burn to begin with is, I will explain that very shortly. His second part of his skill is he stacks Weakness Strike on all allies until the end of battle by 10% for 15 points. So he is applying burn and he is stacking Weakness Strike, which, I mean, burn is very, very specific. It's a very gimmicky thing. It came out with the original Fire 2.0 meta for the Scarlet Bonds movie right after the first anniversary, and we have not really seen it since. It's okay. He is also single target. He is single target. Just in case you didn't catch that. He is a single target fire unit in an AoE meta. The beatdown battle has 3 enemies, and you know what they said? Shuna's fine. Her AoE's fine. Which, to be fair, I mean, it is. If you build a very specific team to make her do enough damage, it is enough. But she's wind. So they give us a wind AoE, a single target dark, and a single target fire in an AoE meta. I don't know what they're doing here, guys. Man. He's on Tempest Elite, Shizu's Will, and Octagram. And I think this is what also is beginning to irritate me, is that not all Rimurus are on Octagram. Not all Rimurus are on Tempest Elite. Not all Rimurus are on Shizu's Will. I really, really wish they would generalize it. Like, if it's a Rimuru, he's, season 2 Rimuru, give or take. Like, I understand why Space Rimuru maybe isn't on Octagram, because he wasn't part of that at that point. But I'm fairly certain that, in order to get the human form body, he had to do a little bit of Shizu stuff. So I think every Rimuru past Slime Rimuru should be on Shizu's Will. But hey, that's just me. And I also think he's probably the most elite of Tempest. So I think all Rimuru should be on Tempest Elite. That's a wild, crazy theory, I know, but all right. As far as burn, Greater Burn. So I have Tempered Edge open. So this burn effect right here that Clayman has, burned, damage 20% for 3 turns. So that's already the difference right there, is that normal burn right now is a 20% modifier for 3 turns, and then Greater Burn is a 30% multiplier for 2 turns. And what this does is that it takes the total amount of fire damage you do and then adds 20% of that as additional after the fact. So if we send this entire hand of fire unit right here, we're going to do a number, whatever number that is. So 52, 6,000, 6,700. So that's 6 combo fire units, fire attacks, and guard for funny. And then, boom, 7,200 additional damage, because that is 20% of what all of those attacks did combined. and it's just free additional damage, and it does stack. So if I wanted to bring, Fire Violet in now for hero, all right, cool. And then we'll use her buffs right here. We'll do this attack right here. Violet skill applies a second stack of burn, so that's why it says on the skill preview stacks right here, is because you can apply multiple different burn statuses, and it will become now 40% additional damage. This one will run out in 2 turns versus 3, and so then you'll revert back to 20%, but for now, we're going to do 40% additional fire damage. And now that we've got, Violet with her crit and pierce, and we've got the extra orange damage, it's going to make this burn damage look a lot better because we've doubled it, and we've also added a few more things to it. So 9,000, 11,000, 21,000, and now 40% of that total fire attack is 47.9. All right, and that's what burn is going to be. So greater burn is going to be now 30%, just for 2 turns though. And you see the stack is about to leave. Okay, fine. That is the example that it is. It's nothing. It's nothing new. It just hits a little bit harder and lasts not as long. So to this I say, whoop-de-fucking-do. Burn has not been used since the Claim and Tempered Edge. It's not important. It's not really useful. Because once this meta is over, and we don't have this beatdown battle, burn is a non-factor. Because if you're going to go into like a Jubilee stage where you want to use a fire character, burn will actually hurt you. Because you're going to have to like AoE nuke 3 spiders or something, and the nuke is what matters. They're going to die from that nuke. They're not going to die from the burn attack. So this 30% burn, they're the only character that does it, right? None of the other fire characters are on Tempest Elite. So it's like, what else are you gonna get? You can bring Summer Lumi for a fire character, wherever she is. Wow, where is she? I don't use her so much that I just forget where she is. Am I blind right now? Am I actually going crazy? No, there she is. All right. Yeah, you can put Summer Lumi on this Tempest Elite team. She's not on Tempest Elite. She is fire physical, great, but she's not getting that extra 60% damage buff, so she's not going to do as much as you want her to. But, I mean, if we build the team as is right now, it's like, this is what I've got. And Rimuru is going to take the spot of this Hinata, unless his first skill is an alt buff, which there probably is a high chance of it being an alt buff, or an attack buff, right? So this first skill, we don't know what it is. We've got Weakness Strike right here, so that's covered. We also don't have an element buff, which is why I have Hinata right here. So Rimuru could go a couple different ways. Attack buff, element buff, alt buff. One of those 3. I assume this skill is probably also going to be fairly cheap. Maybe a 25-point skill for a 3-turn attack and element buff, just like Summer Millum has. I think that'd be the easiest thing to do, because he is a DPS. He is single target, though. Just gonna reiterate that. But, like, he's gonna be the only fire unit. And if he doesn't have alt buff, like, then we'll take out Hinata for Rimuru, and we can put Summer Lumi in here for Summer Shuna. And then we have 2 characters. Cool. Now, what will matter is the fire follow-up attacks that Trainee does, because they are guaranteed to be fire. So, if you send a 6 combo and you have 3 orbs that are fire Rimuru who has an attack buff, those orbs will do 20k or something like that, and then all of the follow-up orbs will be that half damage of those orbs, but they're all fire, so that will just increase the amount of burn damage that you end up doing. And while that is very cool and all, there is only one fire stage in this game right now, right? And it's Claim and Tempered Edge, and it can be difficult for new players, but it's the only place. So burn has not really been a factor in the game for almost a year and a half, since the first anniversary, essentially, right after it. And it will remain a non-factor because they put it on some random meta. I mean, sure, if you put burn on Megamine, maybe, but it's like they didn't. They just gave us a gigantic fire DPS stacking Megamine damage. We have Summer Shizu and Summer Lumi. They don't have burn. They just happen to be fire. Idol Shuna happens to be fire, but she's got synergy, so you don't want to put her on this team for beatdown battle. And then you're locked into using Old Violet. You're free to play hero. Old Fire Benny Maru all the way down here. All the way somewhere. Somewhere. There he is. I'm already not a fan of this team as a whole, and I think this is not what it could have been already off the bat. I could be mistaken though, right? He comes out in 10 hours roughly, and maybe this first skill's godly. Maybe it makes him a very generic support character, just like Benimaru is a fairly generic support character. That's great. However, Benimaru is also still locked to a single unit banner, just like this Rimuru is going to be. And those I really cannot recommend people summon on unless they are super duper cracked out. Benimaru is good. There are replacements. This Rimuru could be good. There could be replacements. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, they're stuck on a single banner. It's going to be a full fire unit banner. So every fire unit that has ever come out in this game will be on Rimuru's banner. And, I mean, if you need fire characters, good. But, like, Summer Shizu, she's old. She's almost a year old. She still can be good. Idol Shuna is good on a green team. Summer Lumi is still the best fire AoE in the goddamn game, being the same age as Summer Shizu's character and memed on constantly, mostly by me. And then we have Old Violet, we have Old Velzard, Old Shizu, Old Benimaru, Old Guy, Shit Gobta, Old Fire Millim, and OG release Shizu and Benimaru. It's like none of these characters are really going to impact your box like all too much at the end of the day. Megamine is not going to be here. She's collab. She ain't going to be there. So your targets are going to be your 4 EX characters. As I mean, unless he is super cracked out, I do not see a reason to summon, because this meta is weird. It's not going to be super useful after this month is over. We've got the 2.5 anniversary very quickly coming up. In literally a month from now is when it will officially start, on the 17th-ish of April. Literally a month from yesterday. Like, this is not where you want to spend your crystals, guys. This is the epitome of stupid bait. Because it's not even good bait. Because it's not like this team is cracked out. It just happens to be, look at the outfits. And that's about it. So, I don't know what they're doing here. I'm not super impressed. 10% stacking weakness strike. I mean, it sounds good if you can put them on a stacking team. But if I'm going to put them on a stacking team, points matter. And a stacking team has a lot of points. And a 15-point skill, like, it will get expensive. 10% here and there will be kind of cool. But I'm not using them for burn. So that already is like, I want units that do a lot, not one thing out of potentially 4, skills with 2 different effects, and you give me one effect on one skill that's okay. No, I'll pass on that, okay? Especially when you have characters like Blanc, like Shizu, who are giving you massive amounts of weakness strike. That's 10 stacks of Rimuru right there. That's 10. You would think I want to use that? Or do I just want to use an 80-point skill right here? Or Shizu, the same thing. 80-point skill for 100% weakness strike. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then I don't have to micromanage my points by using a 15, and then a 35, and then a 55, and then a 75, and then a 95, and then a 100, and a 100, and a 100, and a 100. Like, this is not cost effective. This 15-point skill is fine for like 2 stacks on a burst team, which is what the Tempest Elite team is. It's not really going to be good anywhere else. And it's not like it's Shizuka level, because that's going to be like the people that directly compare her is that, well, Shizuka has a stacking thing, stacking weakness strike. Yeah, but she also heals people. for 25 points. And it's double the stack, right? It's 25 points, it's 20% weakness strike unlimited, and it heals you. Right? These are not the same skills. These were not created equal. And so, I mean, you can spin it how you want. I'm gonna come out and say it. I don't think people should summon for this Rimuru, especially being single target. Like, he could have had a lot of value in Valor Cup if he was AoE, right? He could have had a lot of value in future Jubilees if he was AoE. They didn't make him AoE. They gave him weird burn. Cool. It's like greater burn, deadly poison, right? That Adelman has. Oh, not that. That bullshit. Where's bitch ass Adelman and Clayman? Earth characters. Skeleton Boy. Skeleton Boy. Yeah. Chance to inflict deadly poison. Deadly poison. Not just normal poison, deadly poison. When's the last time you used deadly fucking poison? Did you even know that deadly poison was a thing? Did you know that it was different from normal poison? If you answered no to any of those, you're gonna feel the same way about burn in about 2 months. So, this video's gone on for a while now, and it's me just kind of shitting on this Rimuru. Again, he could be good. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. But we gotta find out in 10 hours. But let me know what you guys think. That's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.